Hey awesome friends, I am Awesome Danny. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about a new set that I was able to get on the tour for. This is the Elysian Pilgrim. Man, I can't read that name without thinking about that Family Guy episode where he's like doing improv and he keeps saying Happy Thanksgiving Pilgrims. You guys know that episode? Maybe some of you guys don't. Oh, you guys are young these days. So Elysian Pilgrim. I believe it was HiFiGo that actually has it on tour here in the US, and I was able to get on the tour thanks to our homie Practiphile. I'll go ahead and link his channel. He's the one that reached out and actually offered it. So thanks, dude, for hooking us up, letting me check out the Pilgrim, and that way I can give you guys my opinion on it. All right, so let's just get right into it. I do have a first impressions video that I did recently if you want to go check that out. So the Elysian Pilgrim, it is a $399 IM from Elysian. They're not Hi-Fi. The driver configuration is a one dynamic driver plus 3 balanced armatures. The IM itself is built very well. The unboxing experience was very nice. It felt, of that higher caliber. The accessories, amazing quality and looks. It was very, very cohesive. I love when the packaging comes together and there's almost like a theme and it fits. It's not just like, let's throw this cable in here and these ear tips, and I guess for this IM, and we'll just use this case. It didn't feel like off the shelf stuff. It felt like this was all made for the Pilgrim. So I enjoy that cohesiveness. So like I mentioned, the build of the Pilgrim, the IM itself, metal, very solid, because metal is solid and hard, but it's done very well. It does have the shiny finish that I hate on metal IMs because they just end up scratched. There's just like a bunch of little scratches everywhere. It looks like the Pilgrim was not immune to the scratches. There is a little bit of scratches already, but it's not too bad. As for the fit, I needed ear tips that extended the nozzle for me, because the shell kind of gets in the way. The angle of the nozzle, along with how short it is, made the shell kind of get in the way. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to some sound impressions. Let's first do a little bit of graph sniffing, because I know you guys love that. So here you go. Here is the Pilgrim's graph. Let's go ahead and take a big whiff. Big whiffs. Get your sniffs in. Also, I have another graph that I want to show just because this is another set that I got recently. Well, not recently, I've actually had it for a while, but the company that sent it out to me asked me not to do a review right away because they are busy. Business is good. And they wanted to just, hold off a bit. But I really like this IM, but go ahead and check this out. This is the Slevo SLT6. Do you see how close they are? They sound nothing alike. It's so funny, but just wanted to share that with you guys. Review on the SLT6 very soon. All right, so you guys got your graph sniffing done. All right, now let's move on to my impressions. Overall, the set is pretty inoffensive. I find it safe and just kind of maybe too safe. It kind of just hangs out in the middle, but it does have overall good sound quality. There's just a couple of nitpicks I did have that weren't deal breakers, but they really did bother me. But first, to start off with the bass. Bass is very nice. It is super textured. It is rumbly. It is not too much. It's more of a neutral presentation, but it does have enough, mid bass and okay sub bass. One thing that I didn't like was actually with the bass on a lot of tracks, especially with my, bass heavy usual library. It felt like the bass was just like right in the middle of everything. Like it came from the middle instead of usually how some sets it kind of envelops you and it's around you. It always felt like it was right in the middle of all of everything, all the music. So as soon as it started doing anything, it would kind of veil the rest of the sound. And I did not like that. But overall, the bass can be pretty lively. It's just not as dynamic as I would like. And that was a theme throughout the entire sound signature. The dynamics kind of fell off, and I'll get more into that in a bit. So going into the mids are full, like they're pretty full, almost lush, as I guess I would call it, pretty lush. I usually enjoy lighter and leaner mids, but the mid bass on this set, especially with the bass presentation of how it was pretty bigger than it graphs, it just made the mids feel weighted. But I did have some issues, especially like on female vocals. It was kind of 50-50 on deeper female vocals. It felt like they just didn't extend very much. It was just like the body of the vocals, and then they just kind of cut, and like it would just hit a ceiling when they were trying to extend, and then just flat. And a little bit similar with the higher frequency female vocals, just kind of it wasn't as airy and light as I usually prefer. They were just ended up overall kind of husky. Male vocals were similar, where it's just like they had a lot of body, basically lush, but then they just can't go anywhere. They just are held back. I really don't understand how. And then we go into the treble. It extends very well. Like there was a lot of stuff that it was able to just push further and further than I expected. So that was very nice. There was stuff that almost unnaturally so would not decay as quickly. Like cymbals. Some cymbals were just like go way more than I expected them to. All right, let's get into the text, because this is where I had some issues. The set is very well detailed. It is very good at bringing out details, but in a weird way. What I got out of this set was that it felt like there was an expander and compressor on the sound like the entire time. If you guys are not familiar with those terms, an expander is something that brings up quieter sound, and a compressor brings down louder sound. That's something that I use when editing my videos to keep my voice as level as possible. So when I get louder, it doesn't blow your eardrums out, but then when I get a little bit lower, you can still hear me. That's how this set sounds. It feels like it just puts everything too even of a playing field, and it ends up kind of blurring stuff together, which is really weird because it's still pretty detailed. And like I mentioned, like for example, treble extension, there was a lot of cymbals where it would extend further, but then not decay naturally. It was just kind of be like a block. It'd be like even cymbal sizzle and then cut. That's one thing that really stood out to me, because I was comparing to Studio 4, and Studio 4 didn't extend as much in the treble, but it felt more natural. Like the cymbals are supposed to slowly die out, not just go and then suddenly cut off. That's something that big difference that I noticed in those two. And that was just the entire frequency response. That's probably why, like I mentioned, how the bass felt like it was just sitting in the middle of everything. And then as soon as it started doing anything, it just kind of blurred into everything else. That's kind of what it was. Female vocals, when they would try to elevate, they would hit that wall or ceiling, whichever way, whatever, wall or ceiling, they would hit something. And it just would bring it all in and keep it kind of level. And I feel like that's probably why it sounds so detailed, because it's bringing up all those little smaller sounds and making them even with everything else. So you kind of hear everything, but then it also kind of blurs everything. So overall, highly detailed, but softer. And dynamics were just not there for me. Not as much as I would like. Stage overall, because of this, felt kind of wide, but at the same time intimate. So it would be like close and flat, but then wide to the sides. So I want to compare it to the SLT6, which is, the set that we sniffed the graph for earlier in the video. The SLT6 is just airier. It feels airier, like it has more height and lighter. Finer details come across, a little bit more delicate, but more concise, even though you might miss some because they're not as even as the rest of the sound. Like they're there and they're more concise. Bass on the Pilgrim is a lot more enjoyable. It's very fun bass. I wish that it can, I can somehow just reach in there, grab the bass and pull it out of the middle of the stage, because it's like they set up the subwoofer right in the middle and they're playing around it. Like if we can put that in the back somehow, like how the Gaia does it, because man, I love the Gaia. But the Pilgrim, just that was the one main nitpick I had with it. It's just bass was great, just kind of sitting on everything. Vocals were very full, smooth, and lush on the Pilgrim. Like they're actually very enjoyable, especially on bass light tracks. Very, very nice. But just overall versatility, I would still take the SLT6 over the Pilgrim. I believe that the Pilgrim is highly capable. I think it is a good set, but it does have a couple of issues that just were immersive breaking for me, and I didn't enjoy as much. I feel like it can make a lot of people happy though. Like the packaging is great. Overall build quality, the accessories are awesome. It feels like it has good value. It doesn't feel like just like Elysian said, oh, $400 so we can, you know, make profit. I feel like they kind of made the set first and then priced it as low as they can get it out the door within reason. So thank you, Elysian, for doing that. So it doesn't feel like I'm overpaying here. Like a lot of sets, like I know I'm pretty stingy. I grew up hella poor, but this set feels worth it to me. It's just the sound, like I mentioned, it's more of a subjective issue, and I don't have any glaring objective issues with this set. That brings me to the rec rating. Do I rec this IM? Yes, I give it a solid 3. It is a very well built set, high quality sound, and overall feels like a good value for the $400. It's just like I said, the sound presentation is not for me, but it might be for you guys. It also probably depends a lot on the genres, because in other stuff, like I said, it was fine. It's just a lot of my usual library was hit or miss. But that's it, guys. The Elysian Pilgrim, rec rating 3. Go ahead and go check it out. If it's something that might interest you, if it sounds appealing, go check it out. And thank you, HiFiGo, for letting me be a part of this tour. Go check out Practiphile's channel. I'll link it in the description as well. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. But that's it for me, guys. I am Awesome Danny, and until next time, you stay awesome, friends. Bye.